Welcome to the Crystals and Crystal Healing course. In this episode in the video library of crystals, we are looking at an absolutely groundbreaking and eye-opening crystal, which is not actually even a crystal. It's called Tektite. I'm Heidi, your crystal guide and educator. You will find much more about Tektite in the Crystal Course Library, but today's video will investigate the science of why Tektite is considered a sponge to absorb and transmute energy, and at the same time, a stone that may help to work with higher cosmic energies. As you may already know from this course, I personally can't just take claims for how crystals work at face value. I love the sciencey bits, and my brain needs to go deeper to understand how each crystal's unique recipe and formation play a role in their crystal healing possibilities. So if you're new to Tektite, there are two things you absolutely have to know about them before anything else. First, Tektites are extraterrestrial. Literally, they are birthed from the fiery collisions of meteorites with Earth. When a meteorite smashes into Earth at high speeds, it creates a massive explosion that melts the meteorite and the Earth around it. Hot liquid from both the meteorite and the Earth shoots up into the sky so fast that when it cools down, it turns into tektites before landing back on the ground. The word tektite comes from the Greek word tektos, which means molten or molten rock. This process of rapid cooling and solidification gives tektites their characteristic glassy texture and aerodynamic shapes. Keep in mind, each stone is unique and its appearance will vary a lot based on how it cools and the precise elements that it's made of. Some tektites are more glassy and some tektites are more rock-like. And second, tektites aren't technically crystals. They are also called cosmic glass or space rocks. And just like the well-known obsidian, they don't have an inner crystalline atomic structure. Instead, they're called amorphous, which means without form. Now let's really look at how the birth story and scientific components of tektites give them the unique abilities to both absorb and transmute energy. Our first clue is the amorphous or formless nature of tektites. This lack of crystalline lattice makes them special in how they interact with energy. It helps me to think of them like energy sponges that can't hang on to energy for long. Because of their formlessness, tektites can passively, like a sponge, absorb energies. But their lack of defined crystal lattice makes them inefficient at holding on to energy, as compared to gemstones that have a structured crystalline matrix. In a real-world scenario, imagine you are in a room filled with dark or fearful energy. Even though we cannot measure it with scientific instruments, you can often feel these energies as very real. So theoretically, by carrying a tektite with you, its amorphous, sponge-like nature could act like a shield to absorb these fearful energies around you. Then these energies would swirl around in the random, formless, disordered matrix of tektite to be changed into something else and then released. What releases these energies are things like changes in temperature, solar or cosmic energies, or running water. So knowing that tektites absorb energy, it's important to keep them cleansed if you're working with them deeply, but do know that the temperature changes in the room will also help to allow the energies to be released. So you see how the disordered, amorphous insides of tektites can be like energy sponges that sort of swish the energies around and let them go, changed and transformed into a different kind of energy. It's like when a dark rock absorbs sun or solar rays. It doesn't release it as more sun rays, but it changes and transmutes the solar energy into thermal energy through the cooling process. Now for our second question. How might tektites work to connect us and maybe even help us to access cosmic energies? So this next part will certainly edge on the verge of being too out there for many people, but stick with me if you're curious. First of all, remember that tektites are extraterrestrial. And if we take clues from quantum theories on vibrational resonance, there are hints that tektites might hold a fingerprint or vibrational memory from their birthplace in the cosmos. So more simply said, tektites could have a real connection still to their cosmic energies of origin. But how would these energies reach us? Well, here's another line of reasoning worth considering. Tektites are largely made of the element silicon, well known for its ability to conduct energies. What if through the power of our intention, the conductive nature of the element silicon, and the vibrational memories of these extraterrestrial tektites, that we could work with them as conductors of cosmic energies? Then ground this even more and think of how we talked about Tektite's amorphous nature and how it gives it a unique ability to absorb and transmute energies in flexible, non-linear, and even surprising ways. So here we potentially have a space rock ally that may not only conduct cosmic energies, but possibly transform them into something that could be even more accessible to our human consciousness. So because of Tektite's ability to absorb energy, it's very important to keep them cleansed so you can work with it at its highest capacity. For day-to-day cleansing from energies it's picked up, I love running it under water for a few minutes. But if I'm planning to work with Tektite for cosmic connections, I like to make a 2-layered grid surrounding my Tektite. The outer layer will have protective crystals like tourmaline and obsidian to keep away any negative energies from being absorbed by the Tektite. And then the inner amplification circle will have crystals like clear quartz, amethyst, rose quartz, selenite, or citrine to amplify the highest, most loving vibrations found in the cosmos to work with the conductive nature of Tektite. I like to leave the grid overnight to charge under the sky's energies, and then in the morning bring it in or sit outside while I do a meditation focusing on my third eye or sixth chakra, a known portal to higher dimensions and cosmic frequencies. And then I set my intention for a clear mind to receive the energies from these crystals. There is much more information on working with Tektite in the course library, and if you found this video lesson helpful, be sure to join me in the Crystals and Crystal Healing course for dozens and dozens of lessons to help you gain confidence and practical tools to work with crystals in your daily life and energy healing practices.